Real talk. I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you want to take your phone and throw it across the room. You're not really looking for marriage. You think you are, but you're not. And you're like, you don't even know me. How do you know what I'm doing? But listen, you think you are, you tell everyone about it, you cry about it, you make dua about it when you're alone. The real truth, you've made this whole thing of looking for a man, trying to get married in this part of your life, part of your entire identity. It's now your personality. It's now your excuse of why everything in your life isn't working right now. But can I tell you a secret, woman to woman? Deep down, you're actually terrified of actually finding him. I know you think it's going to be amazing, but you're also terrified because if you found him, all of this search would stop. You would be in a place that is so uncomfortable that you've never been before. How do I know all this? Because I've been doing this for 25 years.
Welcome to the Mindful Muslimah Speaks podcast, a safe space to learn and grow into the best version of yourself that you're always meant to be. I'm your host, Mindful Muslimah, a mom of 5, big sister to the community, and a licensed educator with 25 plus years and supporting tens of thousands of Muslim women worldwide. Now, I'm excited to share a ton of solutions to your problems on love, relationships, life balance, reconnecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, getting back on track, and more. So grab a cup of coffee and close out those tabs. These next 20 to 30 minutes are all about you. Let's get started.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the podcast. So I'm excited to talk to you today about something that I know if you could just move it out the way, could free up your entire ability to get married this year, binillah. And I say that doing this a really long time. And this is the one thing that is sabotaging your search if you only knew. So what is it? Well, there's a couple things, but I'm going to drop you one big one right now. And is you're basing things on feelings, not facts. And that's not just the whole problem, but let's start there. And before you roll your eyes and you're like, oh, you don't know what I've been through. There's so much this guy, this app, just hear me out. What I'm really saying is you've confused anxiety with intuition. You've confused fear with wisdom. And you've confused comfort with compatibility. That's a really different thing. And let me show you an example of exactly what I mean. There was a sister, her name was Hannah. She came to me, she was about 28 years old, and she'd been looking for years. She has a great job, she's family orientated, like she has so much going on for her, honestly. This is the one thing she hasn't figured out. So I said, what happened to the last guy you were talking to? And she's like, oh, he was good, we had this, and my family was talking about this and that, and he was practicing, and he had a career, and I was like, so what was the problem? And she's like, I don't know. I just feel like I didn't get excited. I didn't have butterflies. Something was missing. And I was like, can you name it? Like, what was missing? She said, I don't know. It's just a feeling I had. And I said, well, what about the guy before that I know you were into? And she was like, yeah, well, him too. It's just like, I just don't feel they're the one. I need to feel it. And so as we went on, there was a lot of talk like this. And that was one pattern. Even if you don't feel you're that touchy-feely as Hannah, I want to say, I hear that a lot. We're waiting for this feeling of everything to be the one. And this is so from movies, ladies, is not how it works. Is not how it works. Please don't use this method. And I said to her, the feeling that you're waiting for, it's not coming because that feeling doesn't exist. That's not how it works. And you know what that feeling is that you're chasing, that feeling that you want to have? It's the nervous system activation that you're getting from unavailable men. They're usually the ones who break your heart, actually, because butterflies are not chemistry. Butterflies are anxiety. The calm, stable man who makes you feel safe, that's the one who's consistent, the one who shows up, the one who treats you well. Maybe he's boring to you and feels like something's missing. You know what's missing? Chaos, uncertainty, the emotional roller coaster you're used to being on. That's the main reason why you're stuck. We have had so many things happen to us as women, and they're all just bottled up here and here. And everything in the back of our mind is just screaming, I don't want to make the wrong decision. And this emotional cycle that we're going through is literally sabotaging everything. Okay, so what happens when you stop making bad decisions based on feelings and start making them on facts? Everything changes. Everything. So let me tell you a good story about a sister named Aisha. So she came to the program about 5 years ago searching, apps, introductions, bio data, all that stuff that everybody goes through. And every time the same story. I don't know, something just doesn't feel right. So we did something radical together. I told her for the next 60 days, you're not allowed to make decisions based on feeling. That was hard for her. at all. You're only allowed to make decisions based on what I'm going to teach you. And she's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, you had 5 years to do your thing. How did that go for you? And she was like, well, I like, do you have even one guy to show for it that you'd actually marry? She's like, no. I was like, great. So we've established that process doesn't work. And how many of you listening to this podcast are like, yeah, you know what? I've done the same thing over and over. And I tell women this all the time. It's this statement from Einstein. And even though he's not a Muslim, I mean, there is so much gold in this statement. Madness is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. You know how many women are doing this same process that clearly does not get you married, because there's no guy here that you'd actually marry. And then they're wondering and waking up tomorrow like, will today be any better? Will today be any better? So we have to break that cycle for her by injecting what actually will work. In the end, she looks at me like I'm crazy, but she agrees. This next guy came along. He was good. He was practicing. He had a good family. You know, sidestep, we teach women how to find them. So we helped her with that part. But my point is, came, right? And he was a good guy. We assessed his emotional intelligence. We evaluated the family dynamics. We checked all the religious priorities. Check, check, check. All systems said go, green light. So I told her, keep talking to him. You're going to give it X amount of time, and you're going to see what happens in your head before your heart. You're thinking head logic. Don't go with the feeling thing. Now, before you panic and you think, I'm telling her to marry someone she's not attracted to, that's not what happened. I'm saying attraction grows in time for women, especially with love. You have to give things time. She's not even married. They're not even in a situation. You're not supposed to have that stuff yet. So most people that just reject people based on, you know, I saw something, red flag, red flag. Like I see so many women, pros, absolute pros at flicking men away. They almost like wear it as a badge. Like, oh, don't worry. I'm real good at rejecting guys. And then I'm like, so how many guys are you good at finding that are actually worth marrying? They're like, oh. So most of you guys who just reject guys, you don't feel that spark. You feel something's off. You have something that has your alarm bells ringing. Oh, he's no good. Now, it's only usually happening one or two reasons. Either one, we don't know where to find men. So we're picking wrong guys who actually legit are not going to be good for us. Or we actually find the ones that are good for whatever reason, found them, right? And then we're just not feeling the feeling. And then we dismiss them. So Aisha, she gave it a month, right? Week 1, still nothing. She thought it was fine. Week 2, she started to notice things. He asked about her day. He remembered small things. Week 3, she realized she was looking forward to those conversations with the families, right? Week 4, she thought, I might actually be really liking him enough to want to just marry him. And her falling for that, or falling for him that way, was not because he suddenly became different. It's because she finally gave herself permission to see what was really there. And that's what most of you need to understand. We are rejecting men in the first or second week because we're not following that system. I have a clear system. I teach it to women all the time. If you follow the system, it doesn't fail. It opens up and it reveals, right? I do little YouTube videos or podcasts about revealing a guy and stuff like that. But this is part of a bigger system that actually is something where you get deeper insight way quick. So stop wasting time on surface level conversations. When you have a system, you know exactly what to ask, in what order, and what to look for. You can assess compatibility in days and weeks, not months and years. When you're making decisions based on facts, not on feelings or fears. Fears is a big one. I know a lot of you have been hurt, or you've heard stories and you're afraid of getting hurt. I totally get it. There is zero judgment for me. Zero. In fact, I've talked to many of you. Many of you have watched these videos and then clicked the link and done 20-minute calls with me. And I have heard so many of your stories, and I understand why you feel the way you feel. But usually, 9 out of 10 times, when I speak to these women, they don't actually have a process or a system, and they're dead stuck and don't know why. And that's where it's really easy for me to see exactly what's wrong and exactly what they need to do next, but only if they knew, right? So what I need you to think about is, why is your process taking this long? Let's switch to a better process. So let's talk about what your process might look like right now. Right now, you might be having surface level conversations. Oh, what do you like? Where do you want to live? What do you do for a living? You know, basic stuff. And either you reject him based on a vague feeling or something you don't like that he said, but we're not actually getting into the meaningful compatibility stuff, the stuff that sticks, that makes people stay married, that keeps people happy for years. And then you're just doing this rinse and repeat. Like you get to a point with the guy, then you have to drop it. You get to a point with the guy and you have to drop it. At this point, you are so exhausted. You're just like, why is this like having a second job? This is so horrible. And I feel you. It's because the system doesn't work. And we're basing things on feeling. I see women too also downloading things from the internet, feeling like, I've done my homework. I know, like, it's either they don't know and they're poking about, or they feel like they've really done the research and they just don't know why it's going wrong. What I also see is women don't know how to read between the lines. You don't know how to read between the lines as well as you think you do. Or you're reading between the lines so well that you're rejecting everybody. That's not going to get you married either. You know what I mean? You need to have a framework for decision making. You can't just do it out like shooting from the hip. It's not how it works. We're not just going off of vibes, okay? I mean an actual like tick boxes, right? Does he have emotional intelligence? Check. Growth mindset? Check. Does he meet all my needs? Check. Did I check that he's not going to trigger all my fears? Check. Like this stuff is legit. And that's the stuff that's going to make you feel safe and actually get a guy that gets you and is actually not going to hurt you. We're talking about efficiency because you're doing it in half the time or even a quarter of the time as opposed to this long drawn out process that you're doing. Okay, so let's get to a point where we want to make a decision on the guy. Keep doing what you're doing. You're going off feelings and vibes and like, yeah, I think he kind of met my criteria. Surface level conversations and, something like that. Sis, this is dangerous because behind all the stuff that you think you ticked off, does he have a secret pornography addiction? Is he DMing women on IG and you have no idea because he has a profile that you didn't find? Does he have control issues that are not going to work with your personality? Does he have anger issues? Does he have issues with his mother? You maybe think you vetted it, but you didn't because the way you're going at it, there's holes in the system. There's so many places to miss and then get a surprise 2-3 years into the marriage as the masks come off. And some sisters are like, I don't want to be strategic. I want to be natural. That no one ever did that in the Sunnah or the Quran. And those are the vibes that happen in Western society. You can see that their success rate is about 50% for marriage right now, 50-50. It's like Russian roulette. Like, I'm just going to stick a gun to my head. Some of the bullets are in the chamber, some of them are not. And I'm just going to start clicking and I just hope I don't get shot. That's just insane. Like, who would do that on purpose with their life, with their marriage? I know you are dreaming of this ideal situation. We do not want you to make decisions that are based on feelings, not facts. I hope I've driven this point home. And if you're like, oh, I don't need this system. And like what I have is, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. My question to you is, how is that working for you? Look, you can figure this out on your own eventually, maybe, and get married, but you want to stay married. So you want to make sure he is what you need him to be. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can't see what your problem is because you're too close to it. You can't see the missteps because you're all up in it. And sometimes you just need a little someone on the outside to say something to you. That's why when I talk to many of you, the moment I point to you exactly what it is, you're like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't realize I was doing that. And that's the response I get. So I want you to understand that whatever you're doing, sometimes it's hard to see because you're so close to your situation. That's not your fault. But staying there will be your fault because you're just choosing to ignore that fact. What you need to do is you need to know the exact questions in the exact order. But before that, you need to dive a little deeper into your own fears and faith. I'm talking about efficiency. feel like people want stuff fast, but they don't know how to do fast well. You know what I mean? Like I can go out and drive my car fast and just run right into a tree. That's what was the point of that? Or I could drive the car fast with really good control and get to where I want to really fast and just get out the car and live my life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it's still too haphazard the way I'm seeing people shoot their shots. Let's stop making decisions based on fear. Let's make it on facts. Let's make sure we know how to vet properly, read between the lines, stop wasting time. Let's learn how to recognize the red flags, the green flags, the yellow flags that make us go, and then we have to investigate more to know if they actually are red or green flags, and how to improve the entire process so it's so much faster. It's not drawn out over months and years because newsflash, if you're looking for years, you're already doing it wrong because it doesn't even take that long. And for the sisters that are introverts and they're hiding in their homes and they're hoping someone falls from the sky to marry them and they'll just go to events once in a while and hope somebody falls into their lap, that is delusional. Somebody has to say this on the internet with absolute love. I see nobody talking to women about what's actually happening. And I know that's what's happening because I talk to many of you. So today, if this episode made you feel uncomfortable, good. That means something clicked. That means maybe you heard some of what I was saying. If you're just spinning your wheels and you want to stop doing that and actually make progress, don't think too much. I think the overthinking is probably the biggest dilemma in addition to the feelings over facts. How long are you going to think about this thing because you're afraid? You're afraid you might actually get married. And then what? I have to have this relationship that could be like something new. And everything new to us or unknown makes us feel afraid because we're human. That's okay. But that's also the excitement because it could also be really, really good. And you could be really, really happy. And you can end up in exactly where you want to be because you did it better. You did it better than most people out there who are not doing it so well right now. And I know because I'm getting calls all day. So I want to hear your story. Let's talk. I'll tell you exactly why you're stuck and what to do next instead. Now, in the cohorts we have, I'm going to be really straightforward. We only have a couple spots. If you want to get married this year, you're dead serious. 92% of people that come in find someone they'd have worth being married in 90 days or less. It's just how it is because we don't accept everyone. But I want to talk to you. Book a call if you feel you're ready to actually get married this year. I can't wait to hear your story and help you find your match. Bidnillah. Talk to you next podcast. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi barakatuh. Links are below.